You read the label. You switch to the clean formula. You paid $38 for magnesium glycinate because someone with a credential and a ring light told you the cheap version was making you sick. You did everything right. And the woman who told you the cheap version was making you sick runs a supplement line. It launched 6 weeks after that video. The ingredient she told you was dangerous is absent from her formula. The ingredient she told you was essential costs her 4 cents per capsule to source and retails in her store for $41 a bottle. You were not wrong to want to feel better. You were operating inside a machine that was designed to make you feel broken first. The wellness industry in the United States generated $480 billion in revenue in 2022. The number is not the story. The story is the mechanism that generates it. The mechanism has a name: manufactured anxiety, and it has been deployed against you with precision. Here's how it works. Step 1 is not selling the product. Step 1 is selling the problem. Content that names your symptoms in clinical adjacent language, such as cortisol dysregulation, leaky gut, and adrenal fatigue. The terminology is real. The diagnostic framework is not. The cause is always described as something you were exposed to. Not your fault, but it happened to you. You are now a person with a condition. This means you are a person who needs a solution. Then the solution appears. It is the product. And the person selling you the diagnosis is the same person who makes it. This model has been running since the 1970s. What changed is distribution. Direct-to-camera authority figures now bypass every editorial filter that used to stand between a health claim and a consumer. No publication board, no peer review, no one with the bandwidth to police it. The brands that understood this earliest moved fastest. Goop, Moon Juice, Sakara Life, Ritual. Not built on product, built on narrative, on the feeling that the medical system failed you, the food system poisoned you, and this brand, finally, sees you. That feeling is not accidental. It is engineered. This is not an accident. This is a design choice. The influencer is not a health educator. She is a distribution channel, and the anxiety she produces is the product she is actually selling. The FTC requires that sponsored content be disclosed, and any health claim made in that content must be backed by competent and reliable scientific evidence. The gap is not in the law. The gap is in enforcement bandwidth. The FTC's authority applies to advertising, not editorial content, on a platform where every piece of content functions simultaneously as both. That distinction has no operational meaning. The law exists. The enforcement does not. The influencer selling you the diagnosis and the influencer selling you the cure are frequently the same person. A viewer who feels well does not convert. A viewer who is always one product away from optimal subscribes, purchases, and returns. The content is the sales funnel. The diagnosis is the hook. You are the lead, and the label on that product tells you even less than the diagnosis did. Adrenal fatigue is not a recognized medical diagnosis. It was designed to be unfalsifiable. The Endocrine Society has formally stated that adrenal fatigue is not a validated condition. The symptoms attributed to it, exhaustion, brain fog, difficulty rising in the morning, and salt cravings, describe the lived experience of millions of women who are overworked and not getting enough sleep. Those symptoms are real. The mechanism named for them is not. It takes genuine suffering, gives it a clinical-sounding name, and redirects the solution away from structural change and toward a product purchase. A multi-hundred-million-dollar category built on a diagnosis that does not exist. They named a real feeling. Then they sold you a fake cause. Then they sold you the cure for the fake cause. The supplement label is a legal document. It carries a disclaimer in small print that says this product is not medicine. The video says this product changed my life. One of those statements is legally binding. There is a certification that exists because the supplement industry does not police itself. NSF Certified for Sport was built for professional athletes who face drug testing and cannot afford unlabeled compounds. It requires third-party testing of every production batch, not a one-time formula approval, but ongoing verification that what is on the label is in the bottle. The NSF database is public. Search any supplement by brand name before you buy. Most wellness brands will not be there. That is your answer. There is one question that costs you nothing to ask. Where is the third-party testing data for this product? Not the brand's internal testing. Third-party batch testing from an independently operated laboratory, searchable by lot number. If the answer is a redirect to testimonials or a pivot to the founder's story, you have your answer. The product has not been independently verified. The story is the only evidence. That is not an accident. The calculation is simple. NSF certified magnesium glycinate from a verified manufacturer costs $15 to $25 a month. The equivalent from a wellness influencer's branded line costs $38 to $60 a month. Over 2 years, $360 to $600 versus $912 to $1,440. The certified product is not cheaper because the quality is lower. It is cheaper because the margin is not funding the content operation that made you feel depleted in the first place. They built this industry on one insight. A woman who feels almost well will spend indefinitely trying to close the gap. So they manufactured the gap, gave it clinical language, filmed it in good lighting, built the community that reinforces the diagnosis, built the product that addresses it, built the content that says the product is almost working. You just need the next protocol, the next stack, the next phase. The anxiety was the product the whole time. You now know the architecture. You know the certification to search before you purchase. You know the question that ends the funnel before it starts. You know that a diagnosis without a peer-reviewed mechanism is a story, not a finding. They cannot sell the problem to someone who has already seen the machine. They cannot capture a customer who already knows the architecture. You are now the most dangerous thing to their business model, a woman who knows. If you made it this far, subscribe. I cover exactly this every week.